Statistics show that 75% of the world uses electronics according to radioliberty.org. 65% of that 75 use smartphone and social media. According to my audience analysis, you guys want to know how electronics affect our bodies and what we can do to fix those problems. Today I will provide you with information on how electronics affect our body, what they do to our brain, and how we become addicted to electronics and social media. First, I will start by talking about how electronics affect our bodies. Electronics have many effects on our bodies, and some effects that people may not realize until it's too late to fix. One of those effects is poor posture. Poor posture is more often than not a product of bad childhood habits. If a child gets used to poor postures like forward head, hunchbacked, or rounded shoulders, he is likely to carry them on into his adulthood, all because of too much use of handheld devices like tablets, cell phones, and gaming consoles. Dr. Eva Gustafsson, a researcher from the University of Gothenburg, Sweden, conducted a study about the mobile phone habits of 56 young adults who send text messages every single day. Half of the respondents say they suffer from arm, wrist, neck, and back pains due to prolonged use of their cell phones. Another effect that using electronics gives you is having physical strains. In some cases, excessive texting and swiping of your thumbs on your smartphones and tablets can lead to inflamed tendons, thumb joints, and index fingers. Modern computing technology tends to involve overuse of our thumbs and index fingers. Although we do pressing, tapping, and swiping very lightly, the physical strains of these long and repetitive actions can lead to stress injuries. Think about texting thumb and articular degeneration. A person can suffer from pain of the wrist, weakness of grip, and your fingers can also pop while you're moving them. It's rather reassuring that most of our texting apps and messaging apps today use predictive entries or autocorrect functions to make it easier so you don't have to type out each word and type each character. But if you consider users' very frequent interactions with their phones, those features barely help us. A helpful tip would be to use both thumbs while texting instead of using one of your hands. Some people just use one finger from their dominant hand to manipulate their devices. They use that one thumb with fewer breaks, and by doing that, they put more stress on it. Now I'm going to move on to how electronics affect our brains. Scientists discovered signs of atrophy of gray matter in the brains of heavy internet users that grew worse over time. This could affect their concentration and memory, as well as their ability to make decisions and set goals. It also reduces their inhibitions and lead to inappropriate behavior as well. Researchers took MRI brain scans of 18 university students that were 19 years old. These students spent 8 to 13 hours of their day playing online games 6 days out of the week. The students were classified as internet addicts, and after answering 8 questions that included whether or not they had tried to quit gaming and stuff and internet use, and whether or not they had lied to their family members about how long they spend on the internet. The researchers compared them to a group of 18 students who only used internet for about 2 to 3 hours a day. One of the MRI images focused on gray matter at the brain's wrinkled surfaces, or cortex, where the processing of memory, emotions, speech, sight, hearing, and motor controls occurs. Comparing them to gray matter between the two groups revealed atrophy within several small regions along all the online addicts' brains. The scan showed that the longer their internet addiction continued, the more serious the damage was. Now I'm going to talk to you about how we become addicted to electronics and social media. Research has shown that human beings are initially motivated to crave social approval from other people, a trait which provides a foundation of studying. These attention cravings are playing out of the relatively new tools of social media. Electronic communication forms such as social networks provide a natural breeding ground for activities designed designed to help people seek attention and gain approval from others. They also provide a foundation for feelings and rejection and dismay when people feel they are less popular than others, or worse, that they are being rejected by their peers. So researchers in recent years have been conducting studies of the various ways people seek approval online and measure how they are being judged on social media. In particular, researchers are analyzing not only their motives in posting, tweeting, and Instagramming, but also measuring their emotional and psychological reactions to the results of these activities. To conclude my presentation, I have provided you with information on how electronics affect our body, how they affect our brains, and how we become addicted to electronics and social media. I hope some of this information has taught you more about electronics and social media that you already knew. And I hope knowing that social media and electronics have these effects on our bodies, it should make you want to put your phone down a little bit more and try to enjoy life without having them by your side. Thank you.
That was interesting.